This is the first job club that I decided to host. And job clubs used to be very popular, face to face meetings of people who were looking for jobs. And they would get together on a regular basis, sometimes once a week, sometimes more often. And they would get together and share their experiences. They would share their challenges. They would get feedback from people who are also looking for jobs. They would be able to discuss their challenges, their successes. They would share success stories. They would motivate each other. They would share tips for overcoming problems that they would encounter. They would share best practices about answering job interview questions and so on. But something that's very important, that is a significant part of a job club, is the motivation aspect. Because looking for a job, especially a career related job, is sometimes a difficult task. It could be a lonely process, and it could be demotivating because you have to be ready to hear back either nothing from the employer or to get used to hearing a bunch of no's, getting letters or emails telling you that they're sorry, but they filled the position, or that you were just not good enough. And that could be very demotivating because looking for a job is like being an athlete. An athlete without a coach will probably not get very far, but an athlete with a very good coach will be training, will be disciplined. Now, many people might say, discipline is difficult. I don't want to get up very early in the morning every day for 3 months, for 6 months, for 9 months, because that's how long it could take to land a really, really good job. Well, that's what a coach is for. And that's what a job club is for. Because imagine this: what do you prefer? The pain of discipline or the pain of disappointment? Discipline takes work, and discipline builds pride. It builds positive habits. And the result of positive habits implemented every day over time results in success. But disappointment results in regret, and it results in disappointment, and it results in demotivation. So again, this is why I wanted to start this job club, for you to join me so that we can talk together about building motivation, building that energy, building that desire to get up early in the morning and get to work, to find good work, to build pride in yourself, to find out maybe what else do you need to do to be able to land the job that you really want. And one of the important things that I want to share with you as we start is that I don't want to encourage you to think of yourself as an employee. To me, the title of employee means giving up power to your employer. Anything that ends with an E, employee, means you are under somebody or something else. You are responsible or accountable to that person. Now, that's not always bad, but you know what? It's not something that I like when it comes to my career and my work. I want to be in charge of it. I want to be in charge of my discipline, my motivation, and my successes. Because when I am, I build pride in myself. And the more proud I am of my accomplishments, and results are important, the further I get on the journey of success. So, this job club is not just to answer your questions, but also to put you in the right mindset, a positive mindset, a mindset where you can get some motivation, you can internalize it, you can make it your own, and you can recycle it yourself inside yourself and empower yourself in this job search journey or this career change journey or career development journey. So, like I said a moment ago, I don't want you to think of yourself as an employee, but think of yourself as a freelancer with a career, with a set of skills, of qualifications, of experiences that are valuable. And they don't just belong in one company or one organization or one department, but you can transfer them from one organization to another, from one department to another, and build your skills. And when it comes to your skills and your qualifications and your experiences, think of them as a portfolio. In a similar way, when you think about your work or your job or your career, think of that as a portfolio as well. Ask yourself, where is your money coming from? Where are your income sources? Identify them, multiply them. Don't just rely on one company or one job because you never know when they're going to downsize and when they're going to let you go, or when they decide that it's time to merge with another company and the company that purchases your company decides that, well, we have too many employees, we need to get rid of some. Those things you can't control. So, what I suggest you do, what I encourage you to do, is to identify as many things as you can that you can control and take control of them. And here are some examples of things that you can control. You can control what time you get up in the morning. You can control whether or not you exercise every morning. Now, maybe you're thinking, why is this guy talking about exercise? This is supposed to be about a job search. But you know what? Physical exercise affects the way we think. It affects our emotions and our mood. It actually puts us in a better mood. So, just by getting up in the morning at a regular time and doing some exercises after you get up, you're actually motivating yourself and you're putting yourself in a better mood, which then sets you up for success throughout the day. It puts you in a better mindset when you need to identify jobs that you want to apply to, when you need to go to a job interview. Because you know what? When you go to a job interview, it's not just the words you use when you answer job interview questions. It's not just who you look at that's in the room if there is more than one interviewer. It's your nonverbal communication. It's your body language. It's your facial expression. I'm sure that you have had an experience where you meet someone new. Maybe it's during a networking event. You meet someone new, and immediately you can feel that that person is shy or nervous just by looking at their body language. We humans can identify that very, very quickly. We can also identify a person who is proud and courageous compared to a person who is shy and withdrawn. Now, there is nothing wrong with being an introvert, but we need to manage that. Just the same as there's nothing wrong with being an extrovert, but we need to manage that. We need to manage our energy levels. So, as an introvert, we need to manage our energy level up to a certain level where maybe we are pushing the boundaries of our comfort, but we are not appearing as shy to other people. On the other hand, if we are extroverts and full of energy, we need to manage our energy down so that we don't appear overly aggressive to some people. And again, this is a skill that we can practice. And we can do that at networking events, even if they are online using tools such as Zoom or WebEx or something else. So here are some of the tips. So like I was saying, one of the things that you should start doing, that I do as well, is get up early in the morning. Yes, when it's still dark. Do some exercises, maybe some quiet meditation to put yourself in a positive frame of mind. Now, sometimes that's difficult because we wake up and our internal voices are negative. They're telling us, oh, we are not going to find a job. It's going to be difficult. I'm not good enough. Well, in addition to doing some exercises to put you in a more positive mood, I encourage you to also wake up and speak positively to yourself. No, not repeating positive affirmations, but one of the most successful ways to block negative conversation in your mind is to replace it with positive conversation, with things such as, you know what? I'm going to think positively. I am thinking positively because when I get up, I'm going to do some exercising. When I get up, I'm going to do something I really, really like, which is have coffee. Well, that's for me. And by focusing on these positive things that I enjoy doing that are going to put me in a better frame of mind, I start to become more and more positive in my outlook on the coming day. So, as you can see from what I've been talking about, a job search is not just identifying job openings or job opportunities, writing resumes, adapting resumes, and sending out resumes. It's also a mental game, and a mental game that becomes even stronger, even more positive if you have a coach, if you have a community that supports what you are doing. And the purpose of the Job Club is to provide you this type of environment and this type of community. That's why I wanted to start this. And like all things, new things start slow. It takes momentum. It takes discipline. It takes consistency to get things going. And that applies to, again, not only your job search, your career development, but anything else that you start in your life, whether it's professionally or personally. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about what type of routine, what type of discipline you can implement into your day to help you gain that momentum. Because when you do that and you focus on each task and you put 100% of your focus on the task that you are doing, whether it's getting out of bed, whether it's exercising, whether it's meditation or quiet reflection and thinking about the plan for your day, when you put 100% of your effort into each activity, you get into a flow state. And again, that has a very positive effect on your mindset and for the coming day. So, a job search is a mental game as much it is an active and action and physical game. It's very important to put all of these things together. So, one of the things that I encountered as a challenge when I was looking for work or when I still look for contracts is that in one day you can identify a whole list of opportunities and start applying to them or start pursuing them. And then the next day you discover that there are very few new opportunities because you've already identified the ones that have been waiting for you. And so you get discouraged because you see, well, there are not enough job opportunities for me to apply to. And some people at this point will decide to get into the negative state of mind. Other people will decide that, well, this is a challenge. This is an opportunity for me to discover other areas that I may have not looked at before. So, as an example, if your main source of job opportunities is LinkedIn, maybe you will branch out and start looking at Indeed. Or maybe you will start to look at LinkedIn, but from a different point of view. Instead of just looking for job opportunities, you start looking at companies and then going to their websites and seeing whether or not they have job openings. Because you know what? A lot of companies, and I would say actually most companies, especially small to mid-sized companies or organizations, they don't post their job openings on the big websites that host job opportunities, like I said, like LinkedIn or Indeed. These smaller companies don't do that. They simply post it on their website, or they post it with a hiring agency or a temp agency. So diversify your search, just like I mentioned the word portfolio before. What are the sources that you're identifying and looking at? And like I said, LinkedIn is a wonderful research tool, not just for job search, but also for identifying companies based on industry. So if you are an engineer, you might want to type in the LinkedIn search box, type in engineering, and then look for companies that do that. Click on the companies, find out their websites, go visit the websites, contact them, even if they don't have a job opening. When I say contact them, reach out to them and see if you can schedule an information interview with them. So, for example, if you are a new graduate, or if you are a fresher, as people say in some different countries, you may not have a lot of work experience, or maybe you're still a student. And you know what? If you are, you have advantages because a lot of accomplished business professionals or other professionals like to help students. So if you're trying to get into a certain career, or even if you want to change careers, one of the first things I recommend you do is to learn about what hiring managers, what recruiters are specifically looking for when they hire people for those types of positions. And like I said, reach out to them and see if you can schedule a 10 or 15-minute information interview. It's not about asking for a job. It's asking this one question to the person you're going to be talking to. What specific skills or characteristics are you looking for when you hire people for your organization for this type of job? I want to learn more about those things so that I can take advantage or take um, control of my career direction so that I can decide what professional development I need, what courses that I might need to take to make myself more closely aligned to the type of person, to the type of profile of a person that you are hiring for. And I've done this many times in the past, even as an experienced business person. It works also if you ask politely, if you ask for 10 to 15 minutes of the person's time, 99.5% of the time, they will give it to you, and probably even more. And pay attention to the time when you are talking with these people. And when you see that you asked for 15 minutes and you've been talking for 15 minutes, say to the person, I am really enjoying our conversation. The information you're giving me is very valuable to me, and I'm very grateful. But I asked for 15 minutes of your time, and that time has passed, and I don't want to impose, and I don't want to use more of the time that you've given me. And you know what? When I did that in the past, most of the people I talked with said, no problem. I have some more time if you'd like to continue talking. And then, of course, after the information interview, make sure you get the person's email address or contact information, which is really easy if you found them on LinkedIn, and send them a thank you note, a thank you message, or a thank you email telling them how valuable they were in helping you learn all these new things that you can now apply to continue your professional development. And when you do that, you never know in the future, that person, when he or she is looking to fill a position, they just might remember you. And they just might reach out to you to have a conversation about that possible job opening. Another question you can ask during an information interview is, could you tell me what is the best way for me to keep up to date on your company's job openings? And then stop talking and wait for them to answer you. Because sometimes the answer might surprise you. Instead of saying, well, keep visiting our career website, they might say, well, connect with me. And if they don't say connect with me, then ask them, can I connect with you on LinkedIn or some other social media network? And by doing this, again, discipline, by doing this regularly, you will create for yourself a fantastic and useful network that's going to help you continue to develop your career and for you to have a whole bunch of different professionals that you can always reach out to and ask a question. So, building a professional network of support is absolutely something that you should be doing as part of your career development process. And you should set goals for yourself. Maybe your goal would be, I would like to connect with at least 3 hiring managers or mentors or business professionals in my line of work or what in related to what I'm interested. I'd like to connect with 3 of those every week. Or I'd like to set up and schedule at least 1 information interview every week. I would recommend you aim for 2, but we have to start somewhere. And when you do that, you now, as part of your job search process, are not only identifying job opportunities, applying to job opportunities, but also you're building a professional network that over time will be supporting your career development journey. So, what you're doing actually is, again, going back to that investment portfolio example I said, you're building a portfolio of resources or a portfolio of career resources for you. So I encourage you to think about your job search, not just something annoying that you only have to do until you find a job, but an activity that is part of your professional development. It's networking, it's developing and building a support system online for you that you can take with you, regardless of what company you work for or whether or not you become an entrepreneur or a business owner. Because these people can support you during a job search, during career development, during business development, and during developing your own company. So there are many things you can do. But like I said at the very beginning, the key is discipline. Make sure you schedule these things in your day. And if you're not used to scheduling your day or planning your day, start out just generally. Make a list of things that you want to accomplish today. Write them down. I actually have a big whiteboard here in my home office that I write my to-do lists every day. And I prioritize these things and I check them off, because one of the benefits of creating a to-do list, especially somewhere where you can see it easily, not just on a piece of paper, but somewhere where you can see it easily as you work, as you walk by, or something like that, is that it's visual. And I like to use different colors, different markers. For example, when I complete a task, I like to check it off with a green marker and then cross off the task with a blue pen. And I don't erase it immediately, because when I see it, it makes me feel successful inside. It makes me feel like I accomplished one thing on my to-do list. And the more things I check off in green, the more positive, the more empowered I feel. And at the end of the day, I look at my whiteboard with all these green check marks, and I feel that I've accomplished a lot today, and it makes me feel positive. So when I go to bed at night, I feel a sense of accomplishment. And of course, before going to bed, I erase the board and I add anything else to that to-do list, except I change the date from today to tomorrow, so that when I wake up, I look at my board and I see the things that I need to tackle that particular day. So this gets me into a routine. This helps me to be disciplined. This helps me to maintain a positive, a useful mindset, because let's be real, we can't be happy every single day, all the time. And if you are, you're probably lying to yourself. We're human. Normal humans have different emotions and different moods. The key is to do your best to learn how to manage them. And when you learn to manage them, they're not going to manage you. Remember what I said. Identify the things you can control and then practice controlling them every day in a purposeful, in a conscious way. And doing these things over and over on a regular basis every day will make you powerful, will make you successful, and will make you achieve the goals, get the things that you want in your life.